Hey guys, Thea here with That Sweet Tea Life, and today we're going to be taking a look at the adhesive transfers from ReDesign with Prima. So these are going to be a little bit different than your traditional transfer. Normally you're taking the transfer, which already has the full and complete image on it, and you're placing it on your piece and rubbing it in and adhering it that way. Well, this is adhesive material. So instead of laying the actual image, what we're going to be doing is laying a silhouette or a cutout of an image that will then get a foil treatment. Let's back up. I'm going to show you first what we're working on so that it all makes sense as I tell you how I'm going to go about doing it. And guys, this is my first time. So you can see me as I goof up, mess up, have success. And we can really go through all the questions together. Okay, so here we have this beautiful piece, which I've pretty well finished painting. And this, just so you know, is largely Dixie Belle's Lucky Lavender. And then I've also blended in some Plum Crazy and Amethyst. And so you'll see areas of Amethyst and the Plum Crazy with a little bit of highlighting with the Flea Market Decor lines Goldenrod. Yes, that's what it is. Okay, so you'll see this area where we've got a vacancy, basically. I have done some embellishing up here and washed over different colors. I think we have the Gulf, we have Amethyst. That's primarily what's happening in there, as well as some Fluff, just to kind of give it a watercolor kind of subdued look. But then I went over everything. If you see the shimmer, that is ReDesign with Prima's Eternal, I think it was, wax. So that's what's giving it this beautiful luster. Here is where I'm going to be doing the transfer, as well as over here. I'll allow the image to kind of come through a little bit more clear. The side, again, we have got some blending, and I did more of a rough blend on this. I wanted to be able to see variation and almost like a watercolor kind of effect. We've got like the watercolor effect happening up here too, but everywhere that we have this really kind of flat Lucky Lavender, that is where we will be concentrating our gold transfers. And then again over here. Okay, so here we have got all of our products. Now that we know what we're working on, I'll show you what we're working with and how I'm going to do it. We've got here the ReDesign with Prima Decor foil. This is to be used with the adhesive, and we have got Relic Copper as well as Stardust. Stardust is going to be your classic gold color. It's a little bit more on the yellow side. And Decor, let's see, the Relic Copper is really a nice warmish gold color. It's not a really deep orangey kind of coppery color. I think it's actually a beautiful version of copper. It's not so overdone that it's going to look brash and orange or red. So I was really excited to have this one. Also, we have the actual adhesive transfer. Inside the package, you're going to find, of course, your burnishing stick. I actually know the word this time, as well as the adhesive transfers. In this set, you're going to find 2 sheets. There are several different types of the adhesive transfers. This one is called Spring Radiance, and in it we're going to find lots of little dandelions, sunflowers, designs, as well as butterflies. I am all about the butterflies for this piece, so that is why I decided to use this. I know that I'm going to be working in small little areas, applying my adhesive transfers and then the foil. So what I'm going to do now is go ahead and use my scissors, and I'm going to cut out each individual element that I know that I want to try to use. I may not use all of them, but this helps me kind of figure out and configure where I want each little piece. So, here we go. Now, as you cut it out, remember, keep the backing on there. That white paper backing is super, super, super important. If you have a problem with it wanting to pull away prematurely, just grab a little bit of tape. Oh, I got some. And then use the tape to just slightly secure it together. It doesn't have to be much. But take it and wrap it from one side to the other. This way you know that nothing's going to float away or get lost, because we know how organized us creative types are. Yeah, so that'll hold it together. Okay. So I'm going to continue to cut out all of my little butterflies and dandelions and anything that I feel like I might want to use for this project. Now remember, this yellow is not going to be seen. This is just the adhesive. Something else you can do that may make the process a little bit easier is lay these out ahead of time. If I really wanted to make this easy, I could have come out here and unrolled them, laid them flat. That way I'm not fighting the curl the entire time. This is me using my mishaps to help here. Here we have a sunflower, and I guess that might be like a, what is it, a dahlia or something? Zinnia. I don't know. It's a flower. I don't think I want to use that. I'll come back to it later on if I really want to, though. But I've got one flower, two flower, a butterfly. So I'm going to cut each of those little individuals out. Again, being very careful not to allow the white paper backing to pull away. Chances are your paper backing is not going to be sticky to the clear part. It's going to, however, stick to the adhesive area, the actual image. And so that's the area that you want it to continue to stick to. Try to do what you can to encourage it to stay together. Because what will happen is, if you allow it to pull away, and it continues to stay apart, dirt, debris, whatever fuzzy, dusty, weirdo stuff we have in our workshops is going to find its way to the back and is going to actually adhere itself. This means that that area that's supposed to be adhering to your project is no longer going to adhere because there's going to be a barrier of dust, filth, whatever. Set that there. I think this is it for this one. I'm going to go ahead and cut away a little bit of the excess. Y'all hear the squirrels? Okay, and there you go. So now you can see how I've gone about just cutting them out. There's a few more on there. I'll continue to do that while you're not staring at me because that's boring. Okay, another little quick tip as you're cutting, if you're like me and you simply didn't lay anything out, therefore making it nice and flat and easy to cut, take a piece of tape, take the end of it, of the transfer, and lay it down. This acts as another end, like somebody's holding it for you and keeping it tight, so that it makes it a little bit easier for you to cut so it's not rolling on you and all that jazz. I just figured that out. Alright, so I have cut up all of the little pieces that I want to incorporate, possibly into the design. And now, clean up. This is whenever you make sure that all of the pieces that you're not going to be using are placed safely back in the packaging. So I'm going to take the two, I'm going to roll one on top of the other. So what you don't want to have happen is go through your little creative moment and have so much fun doing your transfer, and then come back to find that you've got a mess that you forgot to clean and a bunch of transfers that you can't even use. It's wasted money, and it makes us very sad. So I've got everything put in here, close it up, set it aside, and then grab all of your little itty bitty pieces that you're not going to use, double check them to make sure there are no images on there, and place them in the trash. So everything that is left is exactly what I need. And we've got dandelion, dandelion, butterfly, 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 dandelion, butterfly. I love that they're all completely different sizes. One thing that you don't want to have is that your piece just looks like a pattern. It's redundant. Unless you're going for patterns, of course. But this will make it look a little bit more organic, or as organic as gold on a dresser can look. All right, so we're going to push this guy back. And see if we can't figure out how we're going to place each little individual element. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of these guys, and we've got the 3 spaces that we are working with. One thing that you can look at is just how it curves. This one kind of curves over to this side, so I likely want to use it over here. This one, there's no actual curve to it. It kind of goes straight up, so that's fine. This one kind of carries more weight to the left, so it'll go to the right. Same with this one. Just so you know, these are not identical. They're similar but different size. This one carries more weight to the left. This one carries more weight to the left. So over here, we really only have this one that kind of wants to curve this way, which is fine. And we might be able to use it with a little something else, or even incorporate this guy. So, let's see. Let's see. I'm not completely sure about the placement. I don't think I want to go down here. I kind of enjoy all of the curves and everything that's already happening. So I'll probably just leave this alone. There was a little bit of whitewash on the center area that I showed you of the dresser. And so I might bring that whitewash over and kind of maybe add some of that opalescent pearl, the everlasting gold wax on here. Something to kind of glam that up. Okay, so we've got our little flowers. And I kind of feel like I want to begin placing the heavier stuff to the outside. So for me, I tend to like darker colors to the outside or heavier elements. And so I'll probably take my larger flower and place it on the outside. It almost acts as a visual frame as you're going. And then I'm going to take the smaller one and place it on the inside. I'm not worried about anything fitting perfectly inside there. It's absolutely fine for them to overlap or to hang off, and therefore you don't see the entire image. Have creative license over what you're doing. and don't worry about perfection. Or with this, don't worry about trying to cram everything into that space. Like this guy, part of the flower is going to probably hang off, and over here as well. What you want to do though is just make sure that enough of the element is there that people are going to know what it is. And so I've also got a butterfly, and same thing with it. Let me make sure that you can see where I'm at. Good, okay. So the butterfly may or may not, well, it's not going to fit on there. I could force it to fit, but I don't want to. What I want it to do is look like it's pulling away from the flowers, like it just flew away. And so I want enough of the butterfly on there that I know it's a butterfly. But again, I'm not forcing it, so part of this wing is probably going to hang off. All of that is going to stay. Now, I'm going to leave all of these on there as I'm doing the entire dry fit for everything. That way I can kind of see across the entire dresser how everything's going to go. And so now, let's take a look at this guy. I could go all the way to the left and work on that. The reason I'm not worried about it is because, as you may remember, there weren't very many grass pieces or flowers that leaned over to the right. So I've only got a limited amount of stuff to work on that side anyways. So I'm thinking, and see, by dry fitting as you go, you can decide what you want to do. The pieces over there that I placed, I can pull those away and reuse them in different areas instead if I feel like I need to. Because like this guy, that's one of our butterfly options. He's just overpowering. That's too much. Too much. But we also have this butterfly, and we have this butterfly. Let's see. Is that it? So, I think this one, and then this one, and then maybe just a little blossom. So I want as much of this flower as I can possibly get. So I'm going to move the butterflies up as much as possible, bring this guy up as much as possible, and let's see, I may even come back and steal a tiny little leaf off of another guy. Or maybe even just use this flower but not use the entire stem. Remember, you can cut these up and modify it any way that you need to. So, let me grab my tape. And once again, we're going to continue placing. So I think this guy was going to go kind of like this. Right? Now remember, if you're going to be taping, don't use the most adhesive, like strong adhesive tape that you can possibly find. You're going to want to use something that's made for paint to pull away from rather easily. Okay, and this guy, I just kind of want to be facing the other one, so we kind of have a little wavy movement kind of happening there. I am going to have to work around all of these little ridges and stuff as I'm doing it, and that's fine. It's usually really not that bad. Seems like it's going to be that bad, but it's not that bad. What I'll do is I'll bring it all the way down, cut it straight, and then take the image and place it up against the top edge where it's going to meet. Alright, and now I think we have this guy, and like I said, what I'll probably do is cut off the stem right here, bring this where it has all of the leaves and stuff, or the leaf, whatever that is, and I'm going to bring it up here instead. So, I'm going to grab my tape. And place it see, did I get any of the transfer? Must be enough. I'm going to do the bottom two just so that it lays flat. Again though, this is only going to stay on the inside of this pediment. So this down here, ignore that. Now let's see if I can get this guy to zoom in and focus. There we go. And it's not going to look completely crazy. And we're not going to go too high with this. And again, so the very bottom down here, I was thinking about putting some sort of foil, but it's so pretty and curvy. I may just embellish that with some whitewashing or the ReDesign with Prima. What was it called? Hold on, it's over here, so I can show you. Diamond dust. Ah, okay. Diamond dust. This is a Decor wax, super shimmery, really pretty, but that's on the pediment on the front. So I may use that over here to kind of embellish a little bit too. But let's see. I have got I've got this. I've got this. I've got this. And I've got this ginormous butterfly that is just not going to do me a whole lot of good over here. Because I'm not trying to cram that guy over here. So, I think what I will do is this side will be heavier in flowers. Nope. I'm not going to do any of that. And this is where you get to see why you want to do a dry fit. Okay. So, instead of doing all this, I want at least one butterfly over here on the other side. So, I'm going to take this guy. Yes. I'm going to take this guy away. Goodbye, butterfly. And I'm going to take this guy away. This large area, and I'm sure y'all were probably screaming this at me the entire time. No, Thea, don't do it. Do the other one instead. It really calls for this. So, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. And then maybe even oh no, it fell. Trying to decide which one to do. I'm thinking this. Yes. And this. So there we go. That's how that's going to go. Once again, this stuff is going to go away. The gold is going to be all of this that's on the inside of it. I'll lay this down right there. Okay, makes sense? So now we have a little bit more to work with over here. So, now we do have a butterfly. And we have got this lovely tall thing. So I'm going to place it there. Stick another piece at the bottom just to make it conform a little bit, mister. And then I think I may even place this one right here. Yeah. To give it a little bit more substance. There. Can you still see that? Okay. And this pretty butterfly, if you can see, yes, it can go right here. Okay, so I'm going to push this back, and we're going to take a look at all of it together. Zoom out. Hold on one second. That's the wrong direction. Here we have a purple dresser with a whole lot of yellow polka dots. But I think we have a good idea. Now over here, I'll tell you from my screen, I can see all of this is white. That's not an actual transfer. The transfer is right there and over here. And then we've got these guys, and then we've got these guys. So we've got a little action, a little action, and a little choop action. Alright, so now we got to actually do the thing, right? And now here's a little bit of a tip for you. As I'm beginning to think this through, I wonder if I should just rub the part of the butterfly on there that I want, and then just, you know, don't rub what I don't want on there. Here, the thing is, though, it's sticky, and sticky stuff gets everywhere. So instead of relying on me being careful enough that I'm not going to get any sticky stuff where I don't want it, and therefore having problems with adhesion to the top coat or anything like that, I'm just going to cut where the straight line should be, where it should kind of fall off the edge. Therefore, I don't even have that problem. So, kind of looking at this, I think that's good. I'll probably allow that little indentation to come there and then just cut off right there. I feel like that little indent sort of lets us know that we're dealing with a butterfly wing visually. Okay, so I'm going to take a look at it. I cut it off. Does this look right? No, it's not enough. Always there on the safe side, right? Okay, so this is what we want to do. We want to take that same part, but then we want to do the angle a little bit differently so that it's really coming in. I want to make sure that the whole butterfly comes in over here, because I don't want it really cut off with both sides. That's just too much. Okay, so I want to sharpen the angle and bring it over there to that same spot. Okay, now let's see how that goes. Does it come all the way over? It comes over perfectly. And we have a majority of the butterfly on there. All right, so now here's another cool thing about that blue tape is I'm able to use it to pull back that plastic. And now I have the paper backing off. So I'm going to use this. And now if you don't know, Prima has now come out with this really awesome burnishing tool that is made of plastic. I haven't gotten one yet, so I can't really show you, but see, I'm not careful. I touched the antenna, and now I have caused the antenna to go onto my finger. So I have a broken antenna. I'm sad. We'll see if I can fix that later on. I bet you I can somehow. But the burnishing tool is plastic. and it won't end up leaving any sort of coloration. These tools, the wood is stained, and therefore you have to be very careful not to like rub it into your paint. This is a only painted surface. It's not dry top coated or anything. And that's how you want the surface to be whenever you are putting your transfer on there. You don't want a top coat necessarily to be on there. Sometimes top coat is fine, but it works best if you have a nice dry porous surface. And so it's very sticky. You want to make sure that you are careful with your placement. I'm going to come on that side, and then I'm going to start rubbing over to the other side. Okay. And I could use the stick, of course. To be honest, I'm fine just using my finger, at least initially. And then I can kind of rub if I need to. I feel like the stick is more important whenever you are doing the other transfers, the image transfers. My one antenna butterfly. So sad. That's okay. That could be fixed. Alright, so we're going to begin to try to pull back our plastic, perhaps over here, very carefully. And if you find that it's not wanting to lay, like the image is wanting to come up, whether it's this kind of transfer or any transfer, just lay the plastic back down and begin rubbing again. Okay, this is wanting to pull up a little bit right there, so I lay it back down. Alright. You can kind of see in the coloring, it'll turn dark whenever it has begun to adhere to the surface. If it hasn't turned dark, you know that's kind of like an air pocket type situation. Alright, so here we go. Make sure that entire antenna stays on there. I can't have two missing antennas. And remember, this is nothing but adhesive, so it's going to want to stick to the plastic. It's made to stick. So you want to be careful. Don't pull it up too fast. Just take your time. Okay, now that it's on there, what I like to do with my transfers is kind of take the plastic and lay it back down and press again. Once you have it pulled up initially, it's not going to want to stick as much. And this can kind of help to make sure that it's adhered to the surface. All right. Whew, it's getting intense. So I go over here and grab Relic Copper. That was the foil that I said that I wanted to use. So this is it. Let's see if the camera is going to adjust. Probably not. Because why would it do that? That would be far too easy. Okay, so we've got Relic Copper Decor foil. It comes in 6 inches by 12 inches. 6 sheets. Right? Is that what it says? So, this is, oh gosh, I gotta come down here. This is it. I just pulled it out. I'm going to see exactly what you get. Up here. Okay. And I don't know. There you go. So that's how big they are. Now you know, and knowing is half the battle. All right. And so this is the side that I want to show, right? Can you see that? Yes. This is not the side that I want to show. So it goes without saying, place the foil side that you don't want to show on there. That's probably going to be your best bet to give you the right results. It is metal that is attached to a plastic lining. And so here, you'll see how it works. I'm just going to take it, and I'm actually going to come around the other side so that you can continue to see. This is where the process gets incredibly, oh gosh, there's another sheet. Okay. Wow. I was wondering, the sheets are super, super, super thin, okay? I thought it only gave me 2 sheets, and I was secretly crying on the inside. There are 6 sheets in total in this thing, but they are incredibly thin, so be sure to kind of work with them and pull them away from each other. All right. So basically now, you just want to take it and you stick it on there. Ah. Okay, rubby, rubby, rub. Now if I was smart, I would have just covered the whole butterfly. Of course, I leave this little tip up here, so I'm going to have to come back. But you do a little rubby rub, and you do a pulley pull. How beautiful is that? And what's great about this is there is no waste. See this up here that I didn't use? I'm going to use it. I'm going to rubby rub and pulley pull. And I'm just going to continue to do that until every itty bitty part is covered in fur. And so all those little pieces that you think, you know, you can't use, or you're going to go in the trash and you're going to waste stuff. Nope. No way, Jose. Okay, and I'm going to go over it all again one more time in case there's little small little spaces. Oh my goodness. That is so neat. How perfect is that? Okay, so I'm going to bring you down just so you can actually see it sort of like up close. Oh, sorry. There you go. And I'm going to let that kind of set up and do its thing. And I'll probably come back with a brush, a soft brush later on, and smooth it out. Yeah, because it can smooth out some. But that is just so pretty and perfect. Yay! All right, now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of them to go. Wish me luck.